Hi, my name is Sarah Popejoy, and I'm going to talk to you today about the elements within a press kit. There are 7 elements within a press kit I think are highly valuable. Now, most people, when they think of a press kit, one of the first things they think of is the bio. But honestly, I would say that the bio was one of actually the least important elements within a press kit. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a great bio, but it should be, everything else should have, spend a whole lot more time on everything else. Don't spend forever on the bio. Make it great, and then, don't keep going back to it. Now, one of the very first things I would say that would have the biggest impact on being able to reach your audience, and now think about who your audience is. Your audience is the venues you're sending it to, press, which is either online or offline, and also maybe radio stations, online and offline. So one of the very first ways you can really reach your audience, which is this, venues, press, and radio stations, is with a great photograph. A photograph is worth 1,000 words. Okay, now we've heard that saying like a million times, but it's true. The thing is, the photograph is going to tell what your style is, kind of give them an idea of who you are, and it's going to communicate your level and degree of professionalism. If you have a crappy photograph, they're not going to even listen to your music. I can tell you right now. Because maybe you'll have 1% who will listen. But you need to have that great photograph. Number one, to get attention. To say, hey, I'm really in this. This is who I am, this is our style, and this is what we do. It's also going to get you more press when you have a great photograph. So, to get a great photograph, my recommendation is to get a great photographer. You may be able to find somebody who'll do it for $50. If that's all within your budget, that's fine. But if you can work hard and pull some, either shift work or do some extra gigs or do whatever it takes, I would hire a professional photographer. A lot of times, professional photographers, when they know that you're just starting out, they won't charge you as much as they do charge everybody else. Okay? So get a professional photographer, because this is the one thing that, besides investing in your music, which is an obvious, thing, besides investing in your music, this is one of the number one things I can tell you to invest in. Number 2 within your press kit is going to be your music video. Now your music video, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to kick out my cat. She's making too much noise. But anyway, so a local art institute or film school that you know of, maybe a college, a local college where they have a great film program. I would definitely interview them, and that's how I would go about that. Because then you could probably get a decent price. I don't know if you could get it for free, but honestly, I would try to pay them something, They're going to work harder if you pay them something. All right. I'm going to put video here, too. All right. Third most important. In fact, I shouldn't have even mentioned the bio first, because honestly, I say it's number 7 on important. Now, does that mean you don't make it interesting? You make it interesting. Because if they get to down here and you've got them hooked already, you want them to get to where they love you even more. And that they're, now, of course, this is your press kit, and this is also your information that they're going to be putting into print. So you want it to be great for that reason. But to get there, you got to go through these steps. Now, next I would say, one of the most important things within your press kit. Now, I haven't been viewing a lot of a lot of the electronic ones, but I know back in the day we had what was called a one sheet, and honestly I think it's a great idea. If people aren't doing it now, they should be, and if you do it, then you'll be definitely ahead of the game, because with a one sheet, it's basically, it's a summary of everything in here. And what's great about a one sheet is, and that's what it's called, a one sheet, is you can summarize all your information. And if you're it's great for a reporter, somebody who gets thousands of stuff across their desk and they're like, I don't really care about this. Well, if they see your picture, they see you have a great looking picture, and then they look at your one sheet and you kind of summarize, hey, this is our band, this is what we're about, this is what our music is like, here's who we're trying, our, genre and so forth. And let me go over what basically what a one sheet is. It's just a quick summary of everything else. So what I would do is, if I were making a one sheet, is I would finish all the other steps first, and then I would come back and write this one sheet. On your one sheet, you want a great photo or two. On your one sheet, you want maybe a quick list of accomplishments, so that they, something that can validate you. On your one sheet, you want a summary of your bio, which is great because mostly your bio is not going to get read. And I think nowadays you could put, what I would put on a one sheet for an electronic press kit is I would put two of my most popular songs. I would put all those things on my one sheet. A great photo or two, a quick list of accomplishments, summary of my bio, and two of my most popular songs. Those would all go on your one sheet. All right. Next, what you want is press. Now this is press you've gotten from other people, no matter how small it may seem. You find as much press as you can. Now, what I would do on my electronic press kit, since it's all electronic, is I would create my press sheet, and I would create a copy of it on that press sheet. And for instance, I would put, okay, this is such and such from the New York Times. This is such and such from the Village Voice. This is such and such from the Nashville Rage. And I would take those quotes, and then I would put a link to each. You should be able to link to each one of these, so that any reporter can look and they can say, is this person making this up, or is this a real quote? And then they can just click on that link. But I would make it to where they didn't have to go to that link, so that they're not having to jump everywhere, just only if they feel like they need to validate what you're saying. I would make it quick and easy so that they can read it very easily. And that's the whole thing that you have to remember while making this press kit. Just like when you're singing a song, you think about who your audience is. Well, when you're creating an electronic press kit, you got to think about who your audience is. Your audience is not your fans. Your audience is, the guy who's getting in 1,000 leads a day. And you want to get his attention, and you want to make it as easy for him as possible, or her, as possible, so that they'll write a great article about you. And I'm telling you, pictures is the key. I got a lot of, that was one way I feel like I got a lot of press, is through pictures. And then, because they like to print those pictures as well. A great picture is worth a lot. All right. And I'm just going to throw out the person who did my pictures when I was in Nashville was Alan Clark. So if you want to look him up, he's really great. So, all right, number 5. Okay, now, before I go to number 5, your press, the reason why it's so important, in fact, before they even get to your music, because it's your validation. It's why they should listen to you, why they should even think about, listening to a song, because they want to hear from a third party that, hey, we really like this person. And then that gives them, okay, maybe I can spend 30 seconds of my time to listen to first 30 seconds of your song to see if I like it or not. Because otherwise, they're not even going to want to spend that because they got too much going on. All right. Now, so after you finish this, your press, I would definitely, that's when you also want to put in your MP3s. Now, this may not be the order of your actual, how you place. And we'll talk about placement when I'm finished so that I'm not skipping subjects. Your MP3s. All right. With your MP3s, I would put, you don't want to put every single song that you have ever done, unless you've only done 3 songs. Because if you try and put a whole bunch of songs in here, I'm telling you, nobody's going to want to listen to all that, okay? You may be the greatest performer in the world. And if they want to listen to that, they'll go to your website and they'll find it, okay? That's why you're creating your own website. Is because, that's another place to send them. And that's another thing, too, is if you haven't already, if you're creating a press kit, you need a website. Because you need a place to send the press. And then once your stuff gets into press, or if you're trying to get gigs or whatever you're trying to do to use these press kits for, you need, you want them to go to your website. Okay? And then sometimes certain venues, they have, sometimes they publish, who's playing and so forth, or, whether it be on their own little pamphlet or whatever, and they can put your website there. So that's something you definitely want to do, is you want to have a place where you can direct everybody to. All right. Now, your songs. What I would do is you could possibly put all your songs. The only thing is that could create a very large, if you put it in a zip folder. But what I would definitely do is when I put my MP3s in there, I would highlight what I want them to listen to. Because even though you've done it here, they may skip down here. More than likely, they'll go to the one sheet first. But if they don't, and they happen to skip down here, you want them to know what to listen to. You want to give them your best songs, the ones that are most requested, the ones that you think will do the best. You want to highlight what to listen to. And you don't want to send them and fill up their email box so that, it takes forever to download. Which I'm going to follow up with the song list. Because that can either be together with your MP3s or separate. But what's different about your song list is it's not the listening of the songs, but it's basically a brief, in fact, it'd probably be pretty easy to put these together. A brief, which back in the day you couldn't do that. A brief summary of the song. Now, don't make this a boring summary. Don't do it. Don't say, oh, this is about 2 people who are in love and then they found each other and blah, blah, blah. They don't care about that, okay? Find something interesting about the song. I don't care what it is. Like, say, oh, I was dating, like, for instance, I had this song called Jimmy. And I wrote the song while I was dating a guy named Zach. So that was my little tagline that I would put when I was, I would write something about that when I was writing about that song. I'm just giving you an example. Find something either funny or interesting. Maybe there was, maybe it was about the recording session, something that happened during the recording session while you were recording that song, or the message you were trying to get across. Make it either passionate, funny, give them a reason to want to listen to that song, okay? So, and then last we have the bio that we've already talked about. Now I'm going to go over with you, let's see, about the way I would put these in order. I would put these in order as the one sheet first, then I would have the photographs second, I feel like I'm missing something. Alright. Guess we have 7 here, huh? Okay. I would put my video next. Then I would do my, actually, you know what? I would put my press next. And then my video next. And then my MP3s and song list. And then I would put my bio last. Now you could put your bio somewhere in here, but honestly they're going to skip over it. I know that sounds mean. It's not that people don't care about you, but, or, you know, it's not that. It's, the thing is you have to, you know, they get thousands of stuff a day and they don't know how to differentiate. So you're going to have to show them why they should care and why you're different and why you're better and why you work your ass off. You're going to have to make a name for yourself, you know? And that falls on you, not on them. Now, once you've done that, once you've created your press kit, you're going to want to drive traffic. From the things that you get published, from venues, from radio. You've got to drive traffic, because traffic equals fans, which equals money, which equals you get to do what you love. Alright? It's just like if you're playing at you're playing at a show and only 3 people showed up, you know, you're still going to play your heart out, but, you know, you're not going to make as much money. So, traffic equals fans equals money equals you get to do what you love. Now, you're going to want to send them to your website. This is my website. Okay? It's to your band, you or your band's website. Then what you're going to want to do, after you're going to want to create a blog. And the reason why you're going to want to create a blog is because when you create a blog, you create content that can be reproduced. And yes, of course, it can be reproduced through social media and stuff like that, but we're not talking about that right now. Right now we're talking about press kits, okay? So you send them to your website, and on your website you have your blog. That content can be used, can be reproduced, and then because it can be reproduced, you become valuable. You add value. When you add content, you add value. Now, who are you adding value to? You add value to your fans. You add value to your, a reporter, to radio. And how do you do this? You do this by talking about what you're passionate about. And you do this by creating, and this in turn creates value. And once you've created value, people are going to want to come back. When you create value, then fans are going to want to come back, and press is going to want to come back. So now I'm going to talk about how. So you've got your press kit over here. Let me reiterate. You got your press kit over here, okay? And you're sending it to venues. You're sending it to papers and online. You're sending it to online press. You're sending it to radio. And, of course, online radio. Okay? So this is where your press kit's going. Now, from there, you direct them to your website, which contains a blog. Okay? Here you're creating valuable content. Valuable content. And from there, now, when they see the valuable content that you've created on your blog, and fans, because you funneled this to this, and then fans and press are both seeing this, right? Then you have now created the ultimate press kit. Because you've told them about what you do, and they see your picture and they like it, so they go to your website, and you've got valuable content. Valuable content that their readers will want to read, and valuable content because they see that you're not just in it to, say hi and bye with them, right? Then, your next step, you create an Empower Network Beast blog. Now this Empower Network Beast blog is only $25 a month. Now, here's the thing about your Empower Network Beast blog though, okay? It's not going to be like I talked about earlier. Remember how I talked about Sonic Bids and Reverb Nation? And although it was only $0 and about $10 to $12 for Sonic Bids, and actually I think you can spend more money per month on both of those. That's just their basic whatever. That if you want to send anything out, it was actually, anywhere from 50 to 100 to 200. You could spend as much as you wanted, just sending stuff out. Especially if you send them out to, a lot of venues and a lot of radio. Okay, so with the Empower Network Beast blog, they have within the blog, they have a way for you to increase your content. Increase your SEO ranking. Now, the reason why that's important, this may sound boring, but honestly, it's really exciting. When you increase your SEO ranking, you get higher rankings on Google and other search sites, right? Search engine sites. See, it's called, SEO means search engine optimization. By simply doing this blog, you can not only will you be creating value, and they're coming out with the Beast blog, which is one thing that I'm super excited about, and it's coming out October 11th, 2013. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to take this blog, connect it to your website, okay? You connect this blog to your website by using the format that they show you, and and from what I've heard, they said they're making it grandma proof. Right now, it's connected with WordPress, and it's a little more difficult to get your SEO ranking up there because you have to, it's just a little more complicated. It's going to be a heck of a lot easier once the blog Beast comes out. So anyway, so you take your blog, you put it in with Empower Network. This blog will automatically, you'll be able to use your own website domain, okay, with this Empower Network blog. So with the two together, you'll have higher SEO rankings, which means people will find your site. Everything that you're talking about when you blog daily, blog about going on tour, blog about this, blog about things that you're passionate about, maybe there's a cause or a party or something that you're just completely crazy about, and you'll attract other people who are just as passionate about it, and then they'll become attached to you because they love your music. So anyway, you do this simple step. It'll connect with your website. And when it connects with your website and you get higher rankings, you'll get more people coming on. When you get more people coming on and you get more fans, it's going to show. Because it's going to show through your blog, because people will post comments. It's going to show through social media, because more people will be talking about you. And it's going to show through other formats as well online. And you'll create an online presence. And that'll be the one thing. There is nothing more validating than a strong online presence in which other people have validated you. I mean, it's one thing to be able to get some press, and which is really, that helps. That's a ton of validation right there. But when you can go on here and you can get tons of people going to your site, you get people talking about you through social media because you're sending out these blogs that you've posted and people are starting to love you. You're creating your fan base, and then doors are going to open for you. Doors are going to open when you send stuff to the venue that you really wanted to get into, and they realize that you have a pretty good fan base and that you have people that you're able to reach. You're going to get those gigs. It's what's great about the online presence too. It's a validation that you can show. Sometimes when your fans are fans offline, and sometimes it's not as easy to show. Hey, I really have a good fan base in this area. Sometimes that's a little more complicated to show. But when you have when you have social media and people commenting on your blog and people connecting with you, and you can show those connections, and those connections are visual, then it's just going to create that much more validation for you and create greater amounts of opportunities of open doors for you and your music. And so I'm going to put the link right below this video. So check out the link and get on Empower Network and get rocking and rolling.